everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a fun little tag album using the new Graphic 45 Woodland Friends paper collection. So to make this project you will need the entire collection except for the 8x8 paper pad. I used some of the papers from the collection pack. I also used some of the stickers from the sticker sheet that comes in the collection pack. You will need some of the 12x12 patterns and solids. We will be using some of the chipboard pieces. We're going to use some of the die cut assortment pieces, and we'll be using several of the journaling and ephemera cards from the packet. We will also be using the large Graphic 45 ivory tag album as the base. So I have one of the tags here. This is the packaging that it comes in. It comes with 6 of these size tags and 1 ring. So we'll be using the ring and we'll be using all 6 of the tags. We'll also be using 6 of the smaller ATC tags. We won't be using the ring that comes with it, but we're using the 6 tags for the album as well. We will also be using the large tag flower and ATC die set from Graphic 45. So we'll be using the large and the small tag die. We will not be using the 2 larger flower pieces, but we're using all of these other pieces. I used Tim Holtz Evergreen Bow Distress ink for the paper edges, and I also used a 1/2 inch corner punch for the papers. So if you are interested in purchasing any of these products here, these ones are available. All of this, except for the 1/2 inch corner punch, is available on the Photobella website, which I will link in the description box below. If you want the entire collection like I have here of all the papers and the coordinating pieces, I will link the I Want It All bundle set for you. If you also want the 8x8 paper pad, you want to purchase the I Really Want It All bundle set. And I will also link the die set because Photobella sells that, as well as the large and small tags. So go ahead and grab any of the products that you are going to use and craft along with me. The first thing we're going to do is take our large tags and we are going to score them to make them a little bit shorter. So I have my We Are Memory Keeper scoreboard, which I will also link in the description box below because Photobella sells this as well. It's very handy for scoring. If you don't have one of these, you can also just fold it where you need to. So I am going to fold this at 7 inches. So I'm going to measure, mine measures from the right to the left. So I'm going to line this up and I'm going to score this at 7 inches. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold this up. And it's going to form a pocket on the back of the tag. So the front is just going to be plain and the back is going to have a little pocket. So you will want to repeat that with all of the tags. I've already done the other ones just to save some time. So this one is the one I wanted to show you. Once you're done with all of those, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to select 6 of the pieces of paper, whatever of the design papers you want. I selected them from the collection pack, so I just picked the different ones that I liked, and you're going to need to cut pieces that are 4 inches by 7 inches, and this will be for the front of the tag. So once you have them cut, you're going to use the large metal die and you are going to cut the pieces so that they look like this. And you want to be really careful when you are cutting with these. You want to make sure that you place the top of the die at the top of the paper so that you have enough here. And I like to use washi tape and tape it down so that my die doesn't move, and it's really easy to peel the washi tape off and it doesn't ruin the paper. You'll notice that there is a little bit left over down here, and that's because we aren't using the full size of the die. So you'll want to cut 6 of those for the front, and then these will fit perfectly over here. And then I've also inked all of my edges with the evergreen bow. You can use whatever color you choose. Once you finish with those 6 pieces, we're going to cut the back pieces too. So you're going to need 6 additional pieces of paper for the back, but you're going to cut these pieces 4 by 5 3/4 inches. Because we have the pocket, we don't need it to go all the way down. You can cut it if you want to, but I don't like to waste the paper since you're not going to see it. So I just cut mine at 5 3/4 inch. And I did the same thing where I used the large metal die and I place this at the top of the paper, use washi tape, and cut this out. Once you're finished, this piece will fit here on the back, and then the pocket will fold up and hide the bottom part. We're going to need to cut 6 pieces for the pocket to cover it as well, and so that'll be the next step. You will need to cut 6 pieces of paper that are 3 3/4 by 1 5/8 inches. So I used some of the different scrap pieces that I had left over, and I have cut a piece from that. And you're going to use your corner rounder here on just the top 2 corners because the tag die is actually rounded. So this will go here to cover the pocket. We're going to be using this die with the smaller ATC tags, and we are going to be making 6 of them, so there'll be 1 for each pocket. And we're going to cut 12 pieces to cover both sides of the tag. What I did was I used the patterns and solids. I put a pattern on the front and a solid on the back, and the reason I did that is because I want to be able to journal on the back of my cards. So I have the solids that I can write on that you'll be able to see, so it will go on the back of the card. And then I've taken some of the different patterns and I've put them on the front. And what's going to happen is this will get decorated, so there will be stickers and other types of fun things that will make this more decorative. So you're going to need 12 of those, and I have already cut all the rest of mine out just to save some time. We will also be using some of the smaller journaling cards. So I have selected 5 journaling cards that I will be using for each of the tags that come after the first one. The first one's going to be like the cover, so I actually used one of the larger ephemera cards for it, and I cut some of the edges off just so that it would fit better. So if you see our tag, I wanted it to make sure that it fit, and whenever it had the border on it, it was the exact same size. So I just trimmed that down. I fussy cut right up to the leaves. So that is going to be the one larger ephemera card that I'm going to use, and then the smaller journaling cards will be used on each of the other 5. So you want to select those and ink around all the edges of all of the papers that you've cut and all of the journaling cards. These are my cards, my tags pre-assembled. So what you'll see is I've just selected some of the different papers for the front, inked around the edges. I haven't put the cards on yet, so we'll be doing that later on camera together. And then the back sides just have the paper, and then the pocket is glued down. And I'll show you how to do this with the top one. So these are just all the ones that I've made so far, and then we're going to make the first one together. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take our pieces. We're going to start with the front. So we're going to take the large piece and we're just going to put glue all around the edges and then put it on the front. Then we're going to flip over onto the back, and we are going to put the back piece on first. And then we're going to just put a little tiny bit of glue along the edges. So hopefully you can see that. And then we're going to just close it. Make sure it's nice and flat. And that will make a pocket, which we'll put something in later. Then we're going to take our little pocket piece and we're going to glue it onto the pocket to decorate it. So we now have the base of the tag finished, and you will repeat that with the rest of them. And then we are going to start doing the fronts. So for the first one, I want it to be more of a cover. The rest of them are actually going to have photos on them, but this is going to be the cover. So I've taken a piece of cardboard. I've pulled it apart so that I have one layer. This was really thick cardboard. You could use chipboard if you want to, but I'm just going to recycle this piece of cardboard that I had. And I'm going to glue it onto the back of the ephemera card. And next I am going to glue this down. If you are wanting to put decorations or anything behind it, like for example, I have some of the die cut pieces. If you want the layers to be behind this, you can always wait to glue this down if you wanted to do that. But I'm actually going to put my decorations on the top of it. So whenever I do this, it's going to have some flowers, and so I'm going to put them all on the top. Just kind of depends on what you would prefer. Then I'm going to set this one aside because this is actually going to be the last one that I'm going to decorate. It's going to have more dimension than the other ones because it is the front. So I'm going to do all the rest of them, and I'm actually going to do the back of this one before I do anything to the front. So I'm just going to set this one off to the side. And then I'm also going to come in and I'm going to do the smaller tags now because they'll go very quickly. So what I did with these ones is I have patterns on the front again, and then I have the solids on the back, and I've used 3 pink and 3 blue because it will show the ink easier, I think, than the brown or the green. So I've selected the little bit lighter colors, and then I've just chosen some of the scraps of the patterns that I have from the other papers that I used. And so on the front, we're going to put the pattern. And on the back, the solid. And then repeat with the other tags so that you have each of those back, and we'll decorate those later. So we're going to set those aside until we need them. The next thing we're going to do is start by decorating the fronts of each of these tags, and we are going to make these into pockets so that the smaller tags actually slide behind them. So depending on how the images are, so there are 4 of them that are portrait, and then this one is landscape. So this one I'm probably going to make it a pocket here like this, or I might have it kind of tucked out to the side, just depending what I decide. And then these ones I will most likely have them be pockets on the side, but you can put them however you would prefer. If you're going to do a pocket at the top, you're going to want to mat this so that you have a little bit more space to work with. And you can also mat this, you can use other pieces of paper if you want to, and so we'll be doing some of that next. So far what I have done is take some different embellishments from my craft room that I thought would look good with my tags. So I have some lace trim that I've put down here at the bottom. I've made some little flowers with some lace. I made a little bow here. This is trim that I got from Hobby Lobby. I fussy cut some of the paper here. I made another little lace bow out of this. I used some of the chipboard pieces here from the die cut assortment, and I just put them on some twine. This is another piece from that same trim strip. I used the key die cut. I have some little pieces of pearls that are from a string that I have from one of the craft stores. I just cut little pieces of it. I used one of the other die cuts here, and I just tucked some lace bits on each of the ends, and I tied it with some twine. On this one, I have the number, and then I cut the 45 out of one of the packaging pieces, and I have some trim here, another piece of that trim from Hobby Lobby. I have a little piece of lace tucked under here. I have another one of those flowers, and then I have one of the tags from the die cut assortment that I just put some twine at the top of. And I've tucked some paper behind each of these different cards as well, just to help it to pop out and stand out. None of this is glued down right now, so I can move anything around if I decided I wanted to change something up. And see, this is what I do just to kind of position things before I glue anything down, just so that I kind of have an idea about what I want to do. So what I'm going to do next is start gluing all of this stuff down, and I am going to just work on this process, and I'm not really going to talk you through what I'm doing, so it'll be a little bit faster than real time. Make sure that you remember to leave a spot for the smaller ATC card to tuck into. So I'm going to make this a pocket by just gluing on 3 sides of it. And then each of these cards is going to be different. So the first one is going to have the card come in from the right side. The second one is going to come in, it's going to go opposite from the left side, the right side. And so each one is going to be opposite. Next, I have all of the pieces that I'm going to put on my front tag. So I have made several flowers using the Graphic 45 flower dies, and I will link a quick video tutorial of how to make these flowers in the description box below. If you don't know how, you can watch that video to see how I made these flowers. I took the small ATC tag that, since there isn't a pocket on the front, I'm just going to put it on the front here. I put a piece of chipboard on it. I've already glued this in on top of the paper, but the rest of it isn't glued down yet. So I've got some of the foliage here, some more flowers up here, and then I've got a piece of the lace trim down here. So I'm going to take all of this off and I'm going to glue it all on. Once all of the pieces are dry and I know that they aren't going to fall off or move, I will turn all the tags over and lightly decorate the backs. Off camera, I have decorated the backs of the tags just very simply. I've put some lace and trim on the bottom part and a row of the pearls on the top part of the pocket. So this one just has 2 layers because it was a little bit thinner, and then the ruffles are just 1 layer. So I've done that for each of the pockets, and then I have cut a card for the pocket for each tag that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then I have decorated very minimally the card. So I'm going to show you with this one what I did. So first I inked around the edges on both sides. It's just a piece of plain ivory cardstock that matches the base of the tags, and I cut 2 strips for each card of the design paper, and they are 3 1/4 inches by 5/8 of an inch. I have inked around the edges, and I am going to glue these just at the top of the card, but leaving a little tiny bit of a border, and I'm only going to glue the top part of it so that this is open, so when I place a photo it can tuck underneath there if I want it to. So to make this, I'm just going to place a little bit of glue along the top here. And then when I have my photo, it'll fit right underneath it there. On the back, I'm going to do the same thing with this second piece. And then I have little teeny tiny flowers that I made using the smallest flower die from the set, and I've cut 2 of each color. I have slightly ruffled up the edges of the top layer and then glued it together. The bottom layer is flat, and I'm just going to glue this right down onto the side of the paper strip. I have alternated left and right on each side, so this one is going to go on the left. And whenever I have a photo, I can either have the orientation be a portrait, or I can turn it sideways and have it be landscape. Since there is no direction on any of these, you can make your photos either direction. And this is just going to slide right down in this pocket here. Now that all of the cards are assembled, we can go ahead and flip them all over so you can see the front sides of all of them. And we're going to next add them to our ring. So I am going to put them in this order here. As I was designing them, I knew the order that I wanted them to be in. So I'm going to start with the back one first. And I'm just going to put them on the ring. These are all of the tags put together, and you can leave it like this if you want to, or you can put ribbon and trim around the ring, which is what I like to do just to make it a little bit prettier. So we'll do that next. So I have taken some of the trim and ribbons that I have used in the album already, and that's what I'm going to use around my ring. So I have 3 pieces of lace, I have 3 pieces of the tri-colored ribbon, 3 pieces of the green ribbon. This is all I had left of this trim, so I cut it into 2 pieces, and I had 1 piece of each of the ruffle trim. And then I have a longer piece that I cut out of the lace that I'm going to use for the front. I'm going to make a bow. So all of these pieces are about 5 inches long. This one is a little bit longer. It's the last part that I had left. This one is about 4 1/4 because that's all that I had left of that too. So what I'm going to do, I am going to start with one of these, and I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I'm going to put it up against the hinge. That way the actual clasp part is underneath all the tags. That way if I ever want to take them off, I can, and I don't have to worry about those ribbons. So next I'm going to take another piece of ribbon, and it doesn't really matter what order you put them in, whatever you want. And as I pulled on this one, the seam ripped out of this one, so I'm not going to use this one. I'm not going to use this one either because of that. So I might add some more pieces of this lace in here because I have a lot of it left. And there is the tag album with all of the decorative laces and trims at the top. The last thing that we're going to do is take all of the little ATC tags out and we're going to decorate the front. Very basic. I'm going to use the sticker sheet and some of the decorative papers. Off camera, I have decorated these 4 tags. I will show you how to decorate the 5th one so you can make yours. So what I have done with each of these, I've taken one of the border strips from the sticker collection. So these ones are from this border here, and then I also used one piece where it says everyone needs a friend from this border strip. So I have the border strip down here at the bottom, and then I have a sticker that I have backed on some of the decorative paper, and I added a very thin piece of cardboard underneath of it just to pop it up so it has a little tiny bit of dimension. I don't want this to have a lot of dimension because it is going to be sliding into the pocket and I don't want it to get caught, but I did want it to have just a little bit more of dimension. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the last one. So I have my pink card and I am going to use this deer sticker here, and because it has a lot of green on it, I'm going to back it onto the blue. So I just have a piece of blue. It's got the squirrels on it, but you're not going to see it whenever I cut around this. So I'm going to stick this on here and I'm going to fussy cut around this just to give it a little border. Now I'm going to ink around the edges just to hide the white. And then I already have a piece of the cardboard, but I want to make sure that it's the right size. So I'm going to trim this off just a little bit so it's not hanging over any of the edges. So it should fit nicely right in there. Then I'm going to glue it on. Next, I'm going to take my border strip. I'm using the green leaves. So I am going to place this and cut off the excess so that it fits on the pink paper. If you want, you can take it all the way to the edges of the tag, but I just wanted mine to fit along the pink. Then I'm going to add glue to the back of the cardboard piece. And I'm finished with my tag. You can add more if you want. You can add things on the back, but like I said before, I'll be journaling on the back of my cards. So once you have all of the cards, you can go ahead and tuck them back into all of the pockets. And now the tag album is complete, so all the pages are decorated. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and have learned something new today. And most of all, I hope you really enjoy using this tag album for all of your fun photos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.